to definitely put out a trigger warning because this topic may be triggering. And therefore, if you feel triggered, please do not hesitate to pause the video or even click off the video. Now, we all are familiar with the phrase, what happens in the house stays in the house. I've had discrepancies with that phrase for years. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe in a sense of privacy when it comes to what happens under your own roof or within your family dynamic. I do believe in privacy. I do believe in loyalty. However, walk with me for a second, because sometimes that phrase, what happens in the house stays in the house, or what happens in the family stays in the family, it could be detrimental to someone who's being victimized. There are many of us out here who have grown up in a family dynamic where there were abusers. It's unfortunate, but we were taught to look the other way. We were taught the word snitching, which actually enables an abuser. It enables them. I come to you all humbly and ask that please be the different person if you go through this in your family. Please stand on your morals and your integrity. And if you see something, say something. And I'm saying that because you have to keep the victim in mind. No one knows the effect that it has on a victim for the rest of their lives once they're abused. And it doesn't matter if it's one time or multiple times. I'm not here to judge anyone because I myself have been victimized from the age of 5 all the way to adulthood. I know what it feels like. I know how it affects my life and possibly yours. You feel helpless. You feel unheard. You feel betrayed. You feel stuck. And I say stuck because if you're a 5-year-old, you can't pack up and move out. You have to endure these things. Sometimes people look the other way, and then you have no one to turn to. Can you imagine what that does to a person? What that does to someone young? It's absolutely detrimental to an adult. So imagine someone young having to endure being abused. There's all types of abuse. We need to really, really stick together to help victims. That's my opinion. I would really love to touch your hearts, and I would really love to make anyone out there think twice, rethink, and just be the person that saves a victim. Now, I know the first thing that we think is, let me save my own. Let me save my own children. And that somehow makes you feel as if you're doing your part because you're saving your own. And you absolutely are. And thank goodness that there are individuals out there who they go above and beyond to save their children from any hurt, harm, or danger, especially from abusers. But there's also individuals out here who suffer. They suffer the heartache, they suffer the pain, they suffer the loneliness, they suffer that trauma, and it does cause anxieties as they go through life. It does cause depression as they go through life. It does cause PTSD. Never let anyone make you feel like you're crazy if you've suffered from some of these things due to trauma. Never. If anyone listening has been victimized, especially within their own family dynamic, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you because I absolutely understand and know how you feel. I'm not here to judge anyone. I've been victimized, so I totally understand it. And yes, it does affect your whole life. Now, don't allow it to chain you down into anxieties, into depression, into PTSD, and even agoraphobia. Don't allow those things to take control of your life, the traumas that you've dealt with. You have to face it. You have to heal from it. Now, a lot of times people use the word narcissism and say that narcissists are responsible for a lot. My suggestion If you've ever been victimized, and let's say you've been around any narcissist, again, I'm going to say I think you should take a look at Dr. Romney's channel, because her channel has been a pivoting point in my life personally, because I never knew there was such a thing as an entire narcissistic family. I never knew that. But let me tell you what it does when you do some research. It helps you forgive yourself, because sometimes you start blaming yourself. Sometimes other people blame you. There are individuals out here who have been victimized, who have said something and they weren't believed. Now imagine what that must feel like. Imagine how trapped that victim feels. They did the right thing. They said something. They weren't believed. It was actually turned around on them, and they tried to make them out of the abuser. They tried to make it seem as if they were the ones who were wrong for trying to slander someone when they were just being honest. They were reaching out for help. They were going to those who they thought would help them. They were let down. People looked the other way. It's so sad that people can know that there are abusers within their family dynamics, and they put more weight on the phrase what happens in the house or in the family stays in the house or in the family. They don't want to be labeled as a snitch. But my opinion, if I know someone is being abused, I'm going to the authorities. I don't mind being called a snitch. I'm okay with that. If it will save a victim from continuously being victimized, absolutely. You can label me a snitch and I'll wear it proudly, because the amount of pain and torture that a victim goes through throughout their lives is unimaginable. It stays with you forever. You never forget it. Now, you don't let it overtake you and run your life, but it's absolutely not something that you can ever forget. The older you get, the more embarrassed you get to even speak about it. So you find different ways to deal with it. With me, I used to drink a lot. That's how I used to bury all the pain from the traumas. I don't know what anyone else does, because everyone has their own vice to try to deal with traumas. But the vice is not the right thing to lean on. It's the healing that has to take place. But when you're 5 years old, you don't know that. When you're 10, you don't know that. Sometimes when you're 30, you don't know that. Or 40 or 50 or whatever. I really, really hope that this message touched the hearts of those who are in a position to where if they see something, they have no problem saying something. They have no problem saving a victim. They have absolutely no problem wearing the label snitch if it will save a victim from a lifetime of hurt and pain. It's very terrible to grow up in that type of environment. It's very unfortunate that as children we're taught to not say anything, to keep dirty secrets in the house, to walk around like it never existed, or it's not existing in real time. It's unfortunate that there are adults who allow it and will take zero action to help a victim. These things are so unfortunate, because again, the amount of trauma that a victim goes through for their life behind being victimized, there are no words. There are no words to describe it. Only a victim will understand that. But please, don't ever consider yourself to be a victim. Be a survivor. Once you start your healing process, you step into being a survivor. I do believe in the word victim, because until you can face what's happened to you, and until you can try to start healing from that, yes, you're a victim and you've been victimized. But break the chain of being a victim and step into being a survivor. If anyone out there, family members or friends or anyone, because there's abuse all over the place. I'm just so happen to be talking about within a family dynamic. If there's anyone out there who have not experienced this, you're not the victim, or you're not someone who knows that there is a victim within the midst of the family, then please don't look the other way, because it's not your family. I really feel as if we need to get out of the mentality of minding our business when it comes to someone being victimized. I just don't believe that that's the right thing to do. As a survivor, I know the damage that it does. As a survivor, I know how that much more difficult life is because of that trauma. I know how it feels. And if you're a victim or a survivor, you know exactly how that feels. If you've ever stepped forward to say, yes, this happened to me, and you weren't believed, don't ever let anyone call you crazy or make you feel like you're crazy because you had the courage to do so. Don't ever let anyone try to convince you that you're crazy and try to convince you that that did not happen to you. You know what happened to you. Now, other people may believe that you're crazy. Sometimes people are embarrassed. Sometimes it's, someone close to them. That's the abuser. And it's unfortunate because sometimes they choose to protect the abuser and victimize the victim even further by trying to paint the victim out to be a liar or mentally unstable. But in all actuality, they're only doing that to protect the victim in their own image. That's the saddest thing ever. That's the saddest thing ever. It's very cowardly. I know narcissism is running rampant. I feel the more we understand narcissism, and it runs so deep. That's the reason why I keep mentioning Dr. Romney's channel, because she has a plethora of information, and it will help you to understand your surroundings. It will help you to understand what you're going through or what you've been through. It will help you to stop internalizing it and doing self-blame, because as a survivor, I know at one time I felt maybe it's me, maybe it's my fault. There's plenty survivors and victims out there who feel that maybe they did something wrong. What that could be, I don't know. Why did we get to the point of blaming ourselves? I don't know. Professionals will have to help you figure that part out. But what I do know is it will help you to release some of the pain from that trauma. It will help you to understand why no one believed you. It will help you to understand the individuals that surround you in your immediate and outside of your immediate circle. It will help you to understand it wasn't you. It will help you to understand you're not crazy. And it will always help you to understand that you have a right to live your life the way you need to live your life. And when I say that, I mean, if you would like to get help to deal with your traumas, then absolutely do so. Because you see a therapist, that does not make you crazy. Never let anyone convince you that if you seek professional help to deal with your traumas, that deems you crazy. It doesn't. You're bold enough, you're strong enough, you're brave enough to seek professional help. Why? Because you would like to heal. Perhaps that's the first step. You would like to heal. It's, sometimes people don't want you to see a therapist for selfish reasons. They don't want you speaking about the family's dirty laundry to anyone, even a therapist. The thought of the family's secrets getting out to anyone, it scares people. But be bold. Put yourself first. Put your healing first. Never hold on to secrets that hurts you to protect others. That's not right for you. And those who don't say anything and look the other way, I hope one day you find it in your heart to turn back around and look directly at what's going on and do something about it. The authorities are there for a reason. Reach out to them. Help that victim, because there are many of us out there who have been victimized from an early age all the way through adulthood, to the degree to where being victimized is normalized within your family dynamic. And that's not normal. It's not normal. So please, step into being a survivor. step into healing. And for those who have not experienced this, please keep your eyes out for anyone that's being victimized. I understand you go above and beyond to protect your own children, and that's beautiful. But please, protect others as well. Sometimes you can look at a child and see on their face or pick up on their energy that they're going through traumas. Please help them. A lot of times they can't help themselves. A lot of times they have went out to get help and was left by themselves, blamed, being accused of lying. So just try to, in my opinion, focus on healing. These traumas can never be forgotten, but you most certainly can heal through those traumas. Block out anyone who will ever try to make you feel like you're crazy because you take steps in order to face your traumas and heal through them. Because when it comes to my mental health, I'll do whatever it takes to comfort me. If that means seeing a therapist, no problem. If that means healing myself, if that means spending time alone, whatever it means, I will do what I need to do for myself, for my healing, for my own mental health. Just you guys never let people try to paint you out as crazy because you've been through trauma. Because I'm not crazy, and most certainly neither are you.